All right, let's get started. Um, Namaste everyone. Welcome to Hindi University. Really excited to have all of you this Sunday with the Hindi University. As you know, my name is Ashutosh, and we meet every Sunday 8 a.m. US Pacific time, and we learn about the Hindi language. For those of you who are new to Hindi University, you can learn more about us by going to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Hindi University. If you're interested in joining the live sessions that we have every Sunday, completely free, you can find out all the details on this page, which is tiny.cc/Hindi University. Okay. So in case if you missed any of the previous classes, if you want to brush up on any of the previous topics also, it's a great resource. You can find it there, both the places, the YouTube channel as well as on this link. As you know, lately we've been covering two books to start things in parallel. Last year we covered the book from Rupert Snell, Teach Yourself Hindi. This year we are covering two books, Pingu Learns Hindi and Advanced Hindi Grammar from Professor Usha Jain. Okay, so you can find out the details of both the books also on this page. Okay, and also like we have covered some of the classes. In case if you missed it, you can find the details here. So what are we gonna do today? Two things. Okay, the goal for this class is as you guys know, we started working on imperfective participle in the last few classes. So we will cover one use case of imperfective participle, and after that we will go over the for those of you who participated in previous class. As you know, we had the first exam where we kind of covered the basics as well as some of the topics from Usha Jain book. So we will go over the answers of the Hindi exam. Okay. As I said, it's a self-evaluation. So as I go over the answers, you guys will be checking your answers. And in case if you didn't get a chance to work on the exam, I recommend you find out time to just go over it. The objective is not really to challenge you, but it's really to assess you where you are and how you can learn the topics that that we've covered so far. Okay. So with that in mind, let's start on the imperfective participle. Discussion is encouraged, so whenever you have any question, feel free to unmute yourself and ask that question. Okay. So let's start over the imperfective participle. As you guys know, we started this topic a few weeks ago, where we spoke about there are some grammatical constructs which which are derived from verbs, but they have a tendency of behaving with just like other parts of speech, such as adjectives, adverbs, sometimes even nouns. Okay, so what are those? Okay, and we covered a good number of those, if you guys recall. So if you were to talk about khana as one of the Hindi verb, right, to eat. If you guys recall, we even though it's a verb, we discussed that it can behave as an imperfective as well as perfective participle, and which can sometimes act as an adjective, which is where we say khata, apple khata hua ladka, or apple khati hui ladki. Okay, which is sort of a boy or a girl who is eating apple, right? So we had khata hua or apple khata hua, to make it better, apple khata hua ladka. Okay, a boy who is eating apple. If you guys recall, just to kind of give you more brush up, you remove the na here, you change it to khata based on the noun that is there, boy, and then we put a form of hona, khata hua ladka. Okay, this is just like a brush up where we said you can create from the verb imperfective participle in the adjectival form, khata hua ladka. Okay, then we covered that they can also act as an adverb. Okay, which is basically an example would be मैंने apple खाते हुए TV or maybe I'm gonna say something. मैंने apple खाते हुए I'm gonna make it simple. सोचा. Okay. So the primary action was मैंने सोचा. I thought. Okay. But in there you put it apple खाते हुए. Apple खाते हुए सोचा. And we discussed that when we change them to adverb, it's invariably basically the oblique case of masculine singular, and then it's always हुए. Apple खाते हुए. Okay. Some of it may sound a little bit advanced to you. If it does, hang in there. As I said, slowly it will come in. Okay. So these were some of the use cases that we covered in the previous classes. I'm going to make it very simple, and we'll start with a simple example and then we'll do some practice there. So imagine, you have a simple sentence which says, बच्चा, let's say, बच्चा थक गया. A simple sentence, a kid or a child, बच्चा थक गया. Okay. Let's see if any of you can guess what does it mean. Angela ji, it may be hard, but give it a try. बच्चा थक गया. What does it mean?
With the child was tired.
Very good, right? The child got tired. What does it mean? थक गया. What is the verb here?
Tired.
Yeah. So very good, right? So the verb here is thak jana. Okay, thak jana, and in the past it becomes thak gaya. Okay, bacha thak gaya. The kid got tired. Okay. The question might be, how did he get tired? Bacha got tired. So the second thing that we did was bacha let's say the verb here is khelna. Okay, you want to give the impression that while playing the kid got tired. Okay, while playing. So you have to take this verb and create into an adverbial participle. Okay. This may be a little bit, only folks who attended previous few classes will be able to do it, but hang in there in case if it is still hard. Let's see. Who would like to? Chanel, you want to tell us? Which form of adverbial participle you'll use? Bacha?
So would it just be bacha khelte hue thak gaya?
Very good, right? So what you did was, can you explain it? What you did here? You said bacha khelte हुए थक गया. Why did you put खेलते? Why did you put हुए?
Because it's in the form of while they were playing, they got tired.
Why?
So you take off the na, you add the oblique form, and then hué to match it.
Very good. So what you said was, it's always the oblique form of masculine singular, right? So you remove the na and you put खेलते ending with a. Okay, and then this is always हुए. Okay, so let's say the verb was, if instead of खेलना, let's say the verb was बोलना. Let's see who would do that. Done. You want to unmute yourself? Let's say instead of खेलना, it was बोलना.
बच्चा बोलते हुए. What's it mean, Ashu Ji?
I said done, but it's okay. It's okay. Go for it. I'm gonna ask him. No, it's okay. So go for it. Go for it. I'm gonna
Okay.
Sorry.
बच्चा बोलते हुए थक गया.
Very good. Very good. Right. So now I'm gonna ask done. Done. I think you can hear me. Done, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So instead of, so you saw one example. खेलना becomes खेलते हुए. बोलना becomes बोलते हुए. let's say you have the verb called काम करना. What does it mean? Done. काम करना.
Understand.
To. What is the meaning of this verb? काम करना. To. I'm going to make it easy for you. Verb to work. काम करना. Okay. How will you say? Yeah.
बच्चा काम करते हुए थक गया.
Very good. बच्चा काम करते हुए थक गया. Okay. Let's do some more because some of you will still need practice. So let's say verb here is पढ़ना. Okay. The verb is पढ़ना. Okay. JD, you want to unmute yourself? Okay.
पढ़ते हुए.
Very good. Say the whole thing again, JD.
बच्चे पढ़ते हुए थक गया.
Very good. बच्चा पढ़ते हुए थक गया. Awesome. That's great.
I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I'm confused about the masculine singular of
Oblique.
hué. Of hué. I would think it would be hua.
So when it is used as an adverb, it's always, if you recall, the previous class, it's always हुए. Okay. Whether it is बच्चा खेलते हुए, whether it is plural, बच्चे खेलते हुए, whether it is girl, बच्ची खेलती हुई और बच्ची खेलती हुए थक गई, और regardless of it, it's always खेलते हुए.
Okay. Is hué masculine singular or plural?
When we are talking about the masculine singular oblique, we are talking about this part, not this one.
Okay.
So it was khelta, which became khelte. Okay. Typically, you will say for a feminine singular khelti, but in this case, it's also like khelte hue. You remember that? I mean, if I'm just trying to in case if you missed it, I definitely recommend check it just one more time. The verb is always modified as masculine singular oblique from plus hue. That's what we did. Yeah.
Ashu Ji?
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed the class. So is it the kid got tired while playing or got tired by playing? It's the same. It's like while they were playing, they got tired.
So the real translation, the close translation is the kid got tired playing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Now you can put while also there, but that's how the closest translation. The kid got tired playing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions so far? This is still a recap, by the way, because the next one I'm going to be doing. In this case, it's just telling you that, the kid got tired playing. Let's say you want to, I'm going to just do one more actually. So we did khelna, but okay, you did this one also. I'll do one more. Let's say it would be, I'm going to ask some of you to just come up with your own verb. Radhika ji, why don't you do that? Think about a new verb and use it here.
खाना जलाते हुए.
Khana, okay. What is the verb here?
खाना जलाते is a burnt. While burning the food, maybe I've just.
Yeah, it's okay. Take your time. You want to use a different.
I'm thinking.
No, it's okay. Use a different word. It's okay.
Cleaning.
Okay.
Shall I do this?
Okay, very good. So what is the verb?
साफ करना.
Very good. The verb here is साफ करना, which is to clean. So let's say you want to say the kid got tired cleaning the house.
बच्चा साफ करते हुए थक गया.
Okay. बच्चा क्या साफ करते हुए थक गया?
बच्चा कमरों अपना कमरे साफ करते हुए थक गया.
Very good. Whether it is one or two, you can change it accordingly. Great. Yeah, awesome. I put you on the spot, but you did well, okay? So don't worry. Okay, so this was sort of our previous class where we, for beginners, just think about it. There was a sentence in the beginning, a base sentence. All you are doing is, playing around this part and changing different verbs. Okay. If I can give you a quick small homework, I want you to just still use the base template, this template. Try to figure out at least 3 verbs. Okay, 3 verbs, and change it here. So think about the verbs in the infinitive form and try to replace it with, with the appropriate form. That's a very small homework. Okay. Now let's make it a little bit more interesting. So imagine the scenario. It's still imperfective participle, but still the imperfective participle, but the scenario is, let's say this action, the act of playing, it's repeated over time. When a kid is playing, he's not playing in a moment. They play for a duration of time, right? So there's another way of saying it, which will give emphasis, which will give more emphasis on that the act was played for the duration of time. For that, you don't need hue. For that, all you need is just to say this part twice. Okay? So Yirkaji, you want to say the sentence, but don't use hue this time. Just this part twice.
Like you mean बच्चा खेलते खेलते थक गया?
बच्चा खेलते खेलते थक गया. Okay. Now it's hard to find the closest translation in Hindi, but think about it this way: the kid, he kept on playing and he got tired playing, but he played it over the duration of time. Okay. Now let's say somebody is crying. Okay. When a child is crying, he's going to cry for a duration of time. He's not going to cry for a couple of seconds, right? How will you say Yirka? To cry is?
So to cry is rona.
Very good.
So I would say बच्चा रोते थक गया.
Very good. रोते थक गया. Okay. Imagine this another case. When you are sometimes you are in a good company, you have friends along with you, and it's a good discussion is going on, or maybe you're watching a TV together and there's a stand-up comedian, and there's one after the other, there is a good jokes. Okay. And sometimes we get tired just laughing, right? How do we say that? I'm going to ask Magdalena ji. You want to unmute yourself? And let's say, yeah.
बच्चा हंसते हंसते थक गया.
Very good. The verb here is?
हंसना.
Hasna is to?
To laugh.
Okay. And how will you say bachcha? You said haste thak gaya. Okay. So I'm going to write one more sentence which is very common. And you will hear Hindi speakers say that, very casually, or हंसते हंसते पेट में दर्द हो गया. Okay, I'm going to write it down so it will make sense to you. हंसते हंसते, पेट is stomach, पेट दर्द, I'm going to just write it one. पेट दर्द हो गया. And it's basically, all it means is stomach ache. Sometimes Hindi speakers say that हंसते हंसते पेट दुख गया, or पेट दर्द हो गया. Okay. All they're saying is they had a good time, and हंसते हंसते, it's a They laughed it for the duration of time. Okay. Some of you can argue, can I say हंसते हुए पेट दर्द हो गया? Okay, which is correct. Grammatically, it's absolutely correct. While you were laughing, you had, your stomach was, started aching. This is just giving emphasis to the laughing part. Okay, there is yeah.
Can you say that in the instead of saying the third party, like you can say that myself, I become tired after eating, I become tired. So can you say that? मैं खाते खाते थक गई.
You can say khate khate doesn't fit here. The verb is like we are forcing it, but let's say
okay.
So let's say you are complaining that I'm going to ask you this question now. You are like, let's say, what is to yeah, one minute. Okay, I'm going to come to you with Vidya ji. Okay, so let's say you got tired. You want to complain to everyone in the family. Okay, I'm tired of cooking rotis every single day.
Yeah, that is, you always say that. Yeah,
right? Yeah. How do you say the verb to make chapati?
मैं रोटी बनाते बनाते थक गई.
Very good, right? So you're giving more emphasis. मैं रोटी पकाते पकाते थक गई हूँ, right? You can say मैं रोटी पकाते हुए थक गई हूँ, but because this act is not done just one day, you're not saying it for one day that मैं रोटी पकाते हुए. Maybe one day you can say that, like, I'm doing it and I'm tired, but because this act is done by like mothers every single day.
No, I recently said it.
You see that, right? You recently said. So मैं रोटी पकाते पकाते और चपाती पकाते पकाते थक गई हूँ.
So it won't come as a, like, in Tamil we'll say சாப்பிட்டு tired ஆயிடுச்சு. So சாப்பிட்டு is like a eating. After eating, sitting and eating, just I become tired. So
it is correct. Grammatically, it is correct. Okay, मैं खाते खाते थक गई हूँ. Okay.
Yeah.
It's absolutely correct, grammatically. But instead of thak gaye, I will change it to something else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it is absolutely correct, right? I mean, you got the concept, there. Okay. Vidya ji,
you said kate moti.
Yes, you can say that. Yep, you can say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vidya ji, you were asking something. Sorry, I had to.
Yes.
Yeah.
You say haste haste pet dard ho gaya. We say always when you go to someone's plate and you get so much food, and we say khate khate mujhe nasha ho gaya.
You can say that. Okay. Like you got high just eating a lot of food. Yeah.
So Ashu Ji, quick question. Is it proper to say that the difference between these two is kind of like a amount, whereas like the first one, say laughing, like laughing while laughing they fell asleep, or they fell asleep laughing. That means they laughed, and in general it was probably just the first time they laughed, or you don't even know really. But with this, they laugh a lot. So
that's right.
While laughing a lot.
That's right.
Is that correct?
That is correct. The term that is used by both Rupert Nell and Usha Jain is emphasis. So you are emphasizing more on the part, this part. And also it's one of this, the second one is repetition. Repetition of that activity. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you some quiz, which is basically I'm gonna write down verbs here. You have to just change it in this form. Okay, so I'm going to give you the verb in the infinitive form. All you have to do is change it to the adverbial imperfective participle form. Okay, which is a very simple exercise, but I just want to test it out just to make sure everyone is, coming along. So let's say the verb here is, and this is the imperfective participle. Let's say the verb here is bolna. I want all of you to try it, even folks who are watching on Facebook. Try to change it to the imperfective participle form, the adverbial form, which we just covered. Okay, then the next one is Bartan saaf karna. Saaf karna is generic to clean, and we will discuss this one. Bartan saaf karna. Chillana. I'm gonna split it. Chill-lana. But this is not an English word. It's a Hindi word. Right? Chillana. Sochna. That's it. 4 simple ones. So I'm going to give all of you some time to change it. And for beginner level, if you don't understand anything else, just remember this part. Or just remember this part that, if some act is repeated, for the duration of time, you are taking the verb and changing it to an adverb. Okay, so let's see. Carolina ji, good to see you on Facebook. And then Nandini ji and Sifan ji, namaste. Awesome. Let's see somebody who's not tried it before. Anjali ji, you want to come and share? Bolna will become?
Bolte bolte.
Very good. Bolte bolte. You want to share a simple sentence? Bolte bolte in a sentence?
मैं बहुत बोलते बोलते थक गया.
Very good. मैं बोलते बोलते थक गई. Okay, awesome. Clear? बर्तन साफ करना.
Button saaf kate kate.
What is बर्तन? You want to tell everyone?
Pot.
Pot.
Or a utensil, yeah.
Pot, utensils or dishes. Okay, either way is fine. Okay, so what she's saying is बर्तन साफ करते करते. Okay, hopefully the pattern is becoming clear to everyone. बोलना becomes बोलते बोलते, साफ करना becomes साफ करते करते. I'm going to write down one more here. काम करना. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to ask someone who's attending for the first time. Maybe it's just do a quick check. Risha, you want to unmute yourself and tell us if you are comfortable. Chillana. Okay. If you're not there, let's see. It's okay. With Aneska, Chillana will become?
Yeah, it would become chilate.
Very good.
I don't know what it means, so I'm just guessing.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's very good, right? Chillana is to scream. Right? To scream.
Oh.
When somebody's screaming, right? It's a chillana.
So bache chilate takkaye.
Very good.
Gaya.
Very good. Chillate. Like typical, like my mom, like, as I would never listen to her growing up, right? So her immediate thing would be chillate mera gala dukh gaya. Like my throat is like, is in pain, screaming at you, right? Chillate. And she's not doing it. She can say main chillate hue, but because she's screaming for the duration of time, the emphasis like chillate, right? Hope that example further simplify.
Thanks for the word.
Awesome. Let's see. Mala ji, sochna.
हाँ, बच्चा सोचते सोचते थक गया.
सोचते. Octavian, last one you take it, okay? काम करना.
काम करते करते.
Very good. काम करते करते. So hopefully this pattern is clear. Like, for beginners, whenever we do the next exam, like the expectation is not that you will just do the full thing, full sentence. Okay, the expectation is always, I'm gonna just give you verb. Okay, even if you don't know the meaning of the verb, if you can identify this pattern, okay, that itself is a sort of a win. Okay, and that itself is sufficient. Any questions so far? Anyone? No questions, anyone?
I have a short question.
Yeah, go for it.
So the meaning of this is the same as with the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
So the meaning is the same, but this way we emphasize that it was that this activity was a heavy or something like that.
It's the correct translation in English would be difficult for all scenarios, but your thought process is correct.
Okay.
Right? Your thought process is absolutely correct that this activity is basically it's done for the duration of time. Okay, or repeated over a period of time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. However, there is one use case where there's an overlap between the previous thing that we did, which is khelte hue, bolte hue, and this one. Okay, there is one use case where there's an overlap. Which use case is that? We will cover it. Okay. When you do one activity in parallel to the other activity, right? That's where the overlap is, where both of them can be used. Okay, so let's say the sentence is John घर साफ कर रहा है. Okay, John घर साफ कर रहा है, which means, let's say, Anthony, what does it mean? John घर साफ कर रहा है.
It means John is cleaning his home.
Yes.
Continuous process, continuous.
It's present continuous, right? So it's साफ करना becomes साफ कर रहा है. Next one is John podcast सुन रहा है. And what does it mean, Anthony?
It means John is listening to podcast, continuous, present continuous.
Present continuous. And the verb here is sunna, right? Which
listening, to listen. Sunna.
To listen is sunna. One word, sunna. Okay? It's a sunna. But let's say this is your main activity or main verb. Okay? While this activity is done, this action is happening in parallel. Like, he's not linearly just cleaning the house. But while cleaning the house, John is listening to the podcast. Okay? While cleaning the house, John is listening to the podcast. Anthony, how will you say that? You want to give it a try, Anthony? John घर साफ कर रहा है. You thinking or you saying it on mute while you're on mute?
Oh no, it was on mute.
Yeah, okay, say it. So
John podcast sunte घर साफ कर रहा है.
Okay, very good, right? So your base sentence is still the same. John घर साफ कर रहा है. Okay, but while he is doing that, he is also doing something in parallel. The verb here is sunna. So what Anthony did was he did sunte sunte. Somebody can say, "Kya sunte sunte?" Then he said,
podcast sunte sunte.
Podcast sunte sunte घर साफ कर रहा है. Okay, what does it mean, Anthony?
It means that whilst John was listening to the podcast, at the same time also he was cleaning.
Very good, right? Now in the previous class we did this part. Both of them are adverbs, sunte sunte and this also sunte hue. How does this change the meaning? John podcast sunte हुए घर साफ कर रहा है. Do you see any difference there, Anthony? Or
own podcast sunte hui. So to my understanding, I think that this one, John has already he's already done listening to the podcast.
It's not done. It's not done. It's doing it, at the same time as it's very hard. Like even if you ask Hindi speakers, it's very hard to see the difference between both of them. Okay, if it's very hard to see the difference between both of them. They are very similar, very similar. Okay, the only thing, the subtle difference I can think of is like the whole time, he was listening to the podcast. John, that's the only subtle difference I can think of. Otherwise, it's like in both the sentences, the main activity is to clean the house. Okay, in both the time, it's basically while listening to the podcast, John is cleaning the house. But when you say John podcast sunte, the subtle difference is like throughout that time, he just kept on listening to the podcast. Okay.
Ashu Ji,
Yeah.
It's like in the West we say that it's like a multitasking. Like when you're listening and you're at the same time you're drawing or something.
Yep.
It's like it's simultaneously happening both things.
That's right. That's exactly right. But let's say, especially me, if somebody asks me to clean the house, I complain. I don't complain it just once. I complain it throughout while I'm cleaning, right? How will I say that? Let's say the verb, you just use the word complain, which is fine. I'll make it easy, okay? To do complain. Who would like to try? Anjali ji, you want to unmute yourself?
Complain karne.
Very good. Just use complain karna right now. So how will I say that, the same sentence, instead of John, just put Ashu, and you have to say the same thing.
Ashu Ji, complain karne.
One more time.
Kar raha hai.
Okay, one more time. Instead of
complain karne.
So karna is the word, but what you're doing is like podcast sunna becomes podcast sunte.
Complain karne. Not karna. Karte. Oh, karte.
Yep.
Karte.
Very good. Complain karte. Okay, complain karte घर साफ कर रहा है. Right? Make sense? Yeah. I think somebody is raising their hand. Magdalena ji, I think you were asking a question.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to make it clear to myself. So, when it's, for example, complain karte, it means you are complaining just for some while. But if you would say complain karte hue, it means that you are complaining all the time.
No, the other way around. The other way around.
The opposite.
The other way
Okay,
around.
so the opposite. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the other way around. The more emphasis is when you are saying the same thing twice. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay. Now let's say throughout the time I was talking to my friends, or John was talking to his friends while he was cleaning the house. Kelly ji, you're very quiet. Let's see, where are you? I hope you were there.
I'm here. So wait, what was it? You said talking with his friends while he was cleaning the house?
Yes.
Okay. John दोस्तों के साथ बात करते घर साफ कर रहा है.
Very good, right? So you said दोस्तों से बात करते. Okay, what is the verb here, Kelly ji?
What did you say? The
Verb.
verb?
What is the verb?
बात करना.
And what does it mean? बात करना is to
talk.
To talk.
But I actually said it wrong. I said दोस्तों के साथ.
It's fine. It's all good. It is, honestly, to me as a Hindi speaker, they both are the same. So it's all good. Any questions so far? This is a simple one, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just say, what's the whole sentence? Because I'm trying to catch up for the last 7 months.
Don't worry, Deepaji.
Yeah, so is it John, you do the cleaning the house first, or those don't say bot, kate?
Both are happening in parallel. Both are happening in parallel. But
So John, apne, those don't say bot, kate. Then gar saf kara hai.
Very good, right? So just like that, let's say you are attending the Hindi class, but let's say at the same time you are drinking smoothie, but it's more of Kelly Ji, but let's say you have to say
It's Kelly G.
Yeah. But let's say you are doing it. How will you say that? Main
smoothie pite. Yeah, pite. May smoothie pite. Gar stuff. Not gar. Hindi class. Soon kara hai.
Sun rahi hu. Very good. You see, you got it, right? So you can say sun rahi hu or dekh rahi hu or attend kar rahi hu.
Yeah, that's right. Me, I'm doing it. Rahi hu.
Yeah, awesome. Anybody else? Any questions? I think after that we'll jump to the exam that we had.
So Ashu Ji, there's no change in emphasis if you put it in front of the subject, right, with the comma. So like in that example, podcast sunte hue or podcast sunte comma John gar saf kar raha hai.
Podcast sunte. So if I put comma after that?
If you put the comma, but then you put the John after it, like that you can.
Podcast sunte John gar saf kar raha hai.
Ji. Is there a different emphasis? Is it?
No,
it's the same.
Same thing, right? Podcast is the part, right? Podcast sunte gar saaf kar raha hai. You are just doing the same thing that we did in the previous one, but as opposed to sunte hue, you want to say this thing twice. That's what you're doing, right?
Yeah, and sometimes it just helps me because sometimes I forget when I'm doing the thing in the middle. I forget about the end.
Yeah, no, I
Do we need
don't.
a key?
Say it again.
Do we need key?
Where?
Anywhere.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Irka ji, your question?
If I want to make it a past tense, do I just change hai to tha?
No, but you tell
do
me.
I need to...
Like, let's say John cleaned the house, right? That's what you want to say, right?
I mean, John was listening to podcast while he was cleaning the house.
Yeah.
So would I just change it from hai to tha?
Which activity, what's the main activity? Like John cleaned the house. That happened, right? So how will you say John cleaned the house? Let's do that. John cleaned the house.
Okay. John ne. Okay, sorry. John ne ghar saaf kiya.
Very good. John ne ghar. I'm gonna clean it. John ne ghar saaf kiya. That's it. So now what will you put in between? John ne.
Okay, so John ne podcast and now we need sunna in the past tense.
No, that remains the same.
Okay, so John ne podcast sunte hue ghar saaf kiya.
Either that or sunte gar saaf kiya, based on whichever form you're using. Either you can say John ne podcast sunte hue gar saaf kiya or John ne podcast sunte gar saaf kiya. Yeah? So, yeah, makes sense?
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so again, the homework exercise for, if you don't record anything for this class, just be able to take the verb and using the pattern, be able to change it to ending with 2 times te. Okay. Manohari ji, you are attending it for the first time, so I want to just make sure you are able to follow it. Okay. So
yeah, following.
Right. So let's say the verb here is to run. To run, which is daudna. How will you change it to this form?
Dorte, dorte.
Very good. Dorte, dorte. Awesome. I'm happy with just this part. Okay, so this is alright. So we'll shift gears, and I know we have only about 15 minutes, but I'm gonna go over. And for those of you who couldn't attend the previous one, that's completely okay. If some of you can help me and post the link of the exam that we did, I think that would be great. Post it on Facebook as well as on the. I'm gonna post it on the Zoom chat. Okay. So as I go through the answers, I want you to follow along, and I'm gonna. So I think there's a chat. So I'm posting it here. So I posted, if you go to Zoom chat, I posted the link of the exam. If someone can help me here and post it on the Facebook Live, at least that way everybody can follow it. So if you didn't attend, if you didn't get the chance to do the exam, do it on your own time. It's a self-evaluation. So we'll go over the answers and you will just check your understanding. Honor-based system, right? So it's, there's nothing like, you have to, it's your own progress, right? So we'll go over one by one. So the first question was, write down the meaning of the following Hindi verbs. Okay. I'm gonna just go over it, and in case we didn't get a chance, feel free to drop off right now if you don't want to hear the answers. Okay, completely up to you. Vidya ji, you want to go over it? Thakna, what is the meaning of thakna?
To get tired.
Okay. Sochna, what is the meaning of that?
To think.
Okay. Tyler ji, mehsoos karna.
I don't know that one.
Okay. Did you get a chance to work on the test yet, or you still have to do it?
I haven't. No, I haven't gotten to it yet.
No problem. Sharon ji, did you get a chance to work on the test? Okay. So what I'll do is
Yes,
okay.
I did, and I didn't know what mehsoos karna meant, but I think it means to feel.
That is right. It means to feel. Okay, it means to feel. And then dena and lena. Let's see. Chanel, dena and lena. What are these verbs?
To give and to take.
Awesome. Okay, so this was the answers for the first section. The next one is identify the verb.
Ashu Ji?
Yeah.
Ashu Ji, excuse me. Can you just give us an example of mehsoos karna in a sentence?
To give an example of mehsoos karna, I'm going to ask some of you if you can use mehsoos karna. Who would like to try it out? Anyone can do that.
Ashu Ji,
go for it, Vidya ji. Yep.
मैं बहुत गर्मी महसूस करती हूँ.
Yeah, मैं बहुत गर्मी महसूस कर रही हूँ. Okay. Anybody else?
I can try one.
Yeah, go for it.
मुझे आपके लिए महसूस होती है.
Okay. What are you trying to experience?
I wanted to say I feel for you, or I somebody said something I feel.
मैं महसूस कर सकती हूँ. I can feel.
Oh, कर सकती हूँ.
मैं कर सकती हूँ. Yeah. You can also say गर्व. It was a hard question. I just put it in between. मैं गर्व महसूस कर रहा हूँ. Like, which is like I'm feeling proud. Like the child did something great, and the parent or relatives like मैं बहुत गर्व महसूस कर रहा हूँ. गर्व is pride or proud. Like so, गर्व महसूस करना. Yeah.
Can you say that for a jealous as well?
Jealous.
I'm jealous of you. Like
You don't. There's a verb for that, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
You will not fit it there. But so to feel jealous is basically, who would like to try that one? Vignesh or Amritesh, if either of you are there. The word is for jealous is irsha. So it's IR. I'm going to write down the closest equivalent English. Irsha.
Oh, okay. I never heard that.
Yeah,
but some people use jala or jalan.
जलन होना, you can say that. जलन हो रही है. You can say जलन महसूस हो रही है. Okay, in that sense you can say मुझे जलन.
That is what in my head is.
Yep, you can say that. जलन महसूस हो रही है. You can say that. Yep. Right?
How about Ashu Ji, just मैं खुश महसूस करती हूँ.
Okay. Yes. I mean it's
this is where I get confused between, like, can you use it with all the feelings?
I mean, खुश itself is a feeling, like, so मुझे खुशी है. That means like, you.
Right. That's the one. But if you use this verb, you would say मैं खुश महसूस करती हूँ, no?
There's nothing wrong in that actually. There's nothing wrong.
But it sounds weird.
It sounds weird. There's nothing wrong in it. You can say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ashu Ji, sorry, just on this one.
It would be like muche.
Is this for feeling like physical things too? Like मैं जमीन महसूस कर सकती? Or is it more of just emotional things? It's not like physical things.
What is the physical example you gave? मैं?
Zameen?
Zameen meaning like the ground?
Yeah.
मैं जमीन महसूस कर रही हूँ. I have to think, right? I mean, I have to think about other examples in the physical realm to really, respond to your question.
Just like anything, as in like you're touching something and you can like feel it. Like kursi, like
softness.
Yeah.
Is it more of an emotion?
Yeah, or is it more just intangible?
I have to think, but I think I can still make sentences in the physical stuff also, like for example, if something is frozen, like मुझे जमा हुआ महसूस हो रहा है. जमा हुआ is like it's frozen, so I can still make a sentence, but whether it applies universally or not, I have to get back to you on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. The next one, in the interest of time, I'm going to go fast. Okay. The next one is identify verbs in the following sentences. Write those verbs in Hindi. I'm going to just ask one of you to just do the whole thing. Let's see. Claire, Professor Claire, did you get a chance to work on it?
Yes,
Okay.
I'll try.
Yeah, go for it.
So Jason ek kahani likh raha hai.
Okay, so verb is to write. Okay, next one.
Selena koshish kar rahi hai.
Okay, so the verb is to try. Koshish karna. Next one.
So I put mujhe samajh jati ho.
Okay.
Hey?
I understand. मैं समझती हूँ. Okay. Okay. What do you guys suggest? Should I continue this test in the next class, because I want to be respectful of all of your time at the same time. I don't want to go too fast. So I can do two things. Either I can write down the answers in the answer sheet, it's on the exam right after the exam, or we can, just do it just like we are doing. Okay, maybe let's continue to make progress. Next one. Sarah will make a pizza.
Sarah ek pizza banayegi.
Okay, so verb here is to make is
Banana.
very good. To make is banana. Okay, he is playing a guitar.
Verb is bajana and wo guitar baja raha hai.
Very good, right? So the verb here is bajana. It was a trick question because to play, I just want to make sure if some of you think about it as khelna. When you are playing a sport, it's khelna. When you are playing an instrument, it's bajana. Okay. Next one is very simple. Hindi vocabulary. How do you say the following words in Hindi? Let's see. Sunita ji, you want to go over this one?
धन्यवाद.
Thank you is धन्यवाद.
माफ कीजिए.
Okay, please. Okay, please is माफ कीजिए. Okay, कृपया also is right.
पंद्रह.
50. Number 50.
55.
Anybody else? 50. Yeah, 50. Okay. Next one.
So समय या वक्त.
Okay. Time is समय या वक्त. Next one.
उम्र.
Age is umr. Anybody else did something else for age? Sal. Okay.
Ayu.
Ayu is correct. Very good. Next one. Hard.
Majboot.
Majboot. Okay. Anyone else? Hard.
Mushkil.
Kya?
Mushkil.
Mushkil. Okay. Okay.
Katin.
Katin is correct as well. Okay. All of them are. Next one is easy.
Asan.
Okay. All of you did Asan? Yeah. Okay. Next one. Student.
Saral also.
Saral is correct. Saral is correct. Yep. Chhatra. Anyone else for student?
Vidyarthi.
Vidyarthi is correct too. Okay. Hope everyone is following the answers. Like, if it is too hard, you let me know. Okay. I can always write down the answers here or validate. If somebody else wrote something else and feel comfortable sharing it, let me know. We can cover it. Next one is 4. Write down the meaning of the following Hindi words. I'm going to pick one of you. You have to read the word and then the meaning. Christina ji?
Oops. My cheat.
Yeah, no worries.
Gha is house.
Okay. Next one. The next one.
Bacha, child.
Mm-hmm.
Kabhi, sometimes.
Kabhi, sometimes.
Jota, shoe.
Juta is shoe. Okay.
Shoe. Jhutha is liar.
Jhutha is liar. Anybody else did something else for that?
What did you say? Jhuta is what?
One is Juta is a shoe. Jhutha is, she said, liar.
It's all.
I have that something is already tasted.
Which one?
Jhuta. Something that is already tasted.
Okay, that is also correct. That is also correct. Jhuta khana, that's correct. But jhutha admi means a liar or a fraud, basically. Jhutha admi, a swindler, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but both of them are correct. Next one.
Panchwa is the 5th.
Panchwa is 5th.
And Dant, tooth.
Dant is tooth. Very good. Any questions on section 4? Okay, we'll do next section. So section 5 is where I put a picture. Some of you did pretty creative stuff. Chanel wrote an entire story about it. It was pretty interesting. Who would like to read it, their part, for section number? Yeah.
Can I try? Let me put it in the chat here too.
Please do. Yep.
Okay.
So section 5, if you guys recall, that was the picture, this one.
Oh wait, hold on. That was the Hindi practice thing. Just a second. Copy. Ignore the thing at the beginning.
Okay.
Okay. So, दादाजी बच्चों को इंतजार करते हुए फोन बात कर रहे थे. How's that so far?
Good. फोन पे बात कर रहे थे.
Okay. दादाजी ने अपने रोती हुई बेटी को कहा, बेटी मुझे जाने दो, बस अभी पहुंची. So his daughter is, freaking out, and so he's like, calm down.
Okay, awesome. Awesome.
दादाजी सोचा, अरे मेरी बेटी ने मुझे आराम करने नहीं दिया. She never lets me rest. Lets me relax. फिर उन्होंने अपने मुस्कुराते हुए पोतों को देखा और दादाजी खुश महसूस. This is where I didn't know about the महसूस. खुश महसूस किया.
Okay.
So he was happy once he saw his smiling grandchildren get off the bus there, and that's it. And then the end. I don't know if that's how you say the end. Smacht.
No, it's all good. It was very good actually. It was very good. I'm glad that you used the use of hua. So that was like great job there. Okay. So I hope all of you. This was a bit like a part which everybody will try something else. If you feel comfortable, post it in the WhatsApp group that we have. And I think some of you who are joining for the first time, you should definitely join the WhatsApp group. Kelly ji will post a link on the Zoom chat, so that way you can connect with the rest of the students and practice. Okay. We are 1 minute over. Let's do this part as well. I think we can get it. Section 6 is describe a situation scenario where you will use the following phrase. Sharmila ji, you want to go for this one, the whole part? I hope you're still there. Okay. Let's see. Who would like to do that? Tom, is he there? Okay, go for it. Oh, you're there, Sharmila. Go for it, Sharmila.
I'm switching back and forth. So it's difficult at the moment. I just simply, when I wrote, let the children eat the food. So, bachon ko khana khane do.
Very good.
I'm not sure if that was what was necessary here, though. Next one was.
Mujhe sochne do. When will you use this phrase?
बच्चों शोर कर रहे थे और माँ ने कहा मुझे सोचने दो.
Okay, very good, very good.
I just made it up.
The next one is it's a situational question. Where will you use this phrase? So you can describe the situation in English also.
Okay. Well, the children were making noise and mother told them, let me think.
Yeah, very good. So, let me think. Yeah, that's very useful. Next one. चोर को भागने मत दो.
I have no idea at the moment because I did not do it as you said.
Yeah, चोर को भागने मत दो.
चोर ने घर अंदर गई और भाई ने कहा चोर को भागने मत दो.
That's good.
Don't chase the thief.
No, don't let the thief fly.
Okay. Actually, I was thinking the opposite way. Don't let the thief go. भागने मत दो. चोर के पास बंदूक है, इसलिए भाई ने कहा चोर को भागने मत दो. Don't chase the thief.
Yep.
But in this case, is it don't let them go or don't catch them then?
No, so it's don't let them go. So it's a situation I was thinking in my mind is, let's say a thief is, he was caught and he's running and all the neighbors were like, don't let him run. Like, catch him right.
So it's to catch him then. So it's the opposite then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the first scenario would have worked.
Yeah. The next one is उनको रात के 11 बजे के बाद बाहर मत जाने दो. In which scenario will you use this phrase?
I'm sorry about this one. लेकिन बच्चों को रात को उनको रात को 11 बजे को बाद बाहर मत जाने दो. Don't let children. I just filled it with the subject.
That's correct. So, it's correct actually.
But meaning to say, don't let if it's a son or as the case might be, because it's him, right? Yeah. So, but बेटा को उनको रात को बेटा को 11 बजे के बाद बाहर मत जाने दो. Don't let your son go out after.
So let's say this is the scenario I was thinking is, let's say there's a particular city, unsafe city, and you are just advising to don't let them go outside after a certain time. Okay, that's a scenario I was thinking. Okay.
माफ कीजिए, लेकिन I just made up those sentences. So
No, this is good. You did great actually. So this is you. In fact, you are trying to go one level further. You're trying to say the whole thing in English, in Hindi. What in my mind, my bar was like, just think about an English scenario, which you did much better.
Well,
okay. The next one is translate the following. Who would do it? Kelly ji, I think you already did that. Tom, is he in today? Tom, yeah, go for it, Tom ji. If you had a chance to work on it, you can, help out here. If you are not there, Susan ji, you want to go?
I don't have it in front of me.
Nurse that is working.
काम करते हुए
काम करती हुई nurse.
Nurse. You have to put in nurse first, right?
काम करती हुई
No,
nurse.
it's correct. Yes.
Yeah, काम करती हुई.
काम करते हुई nurse.
Very good. The leaning tower.
I did not know the word for leaning.
Okay. Anybody else? The leaning tower.
झुकती हुई मीनार.
झुकती हुई मीनार.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one, the absconding thief.
भागते हुए चोर.
If it is one chor, it's भागता हुआ चोर. If it is multiple,
भागता हुआ चोर.
very good. The flying car.
उड़ती हुई गाड़ी.
Very good. उड़ती हुई गाड़ी. Okay. The next one is translate the following in Hindi. While driving the car.
गाड़ी चलती हुई.
Okay. Anyone else? While driving. गाड़ी चलाते हुए. While driving. To drive is चलाना. To drive is chalana, right? So गाड़ी चलाते हुए.
Sorry, I forgot that. I did it.
It's all good.
चलते हुए. Sometimes get confused.
It's all good.
Not confused, but without thinking.
Yeah. Next one. Anybody else would like to try this one? While eating the pizza.
Can I give it?
Sorry. Okay.
Go for it. This is open now.
Okay. Pizza खाते हुए.
Pizza खाते हुए. Awesome. Pizza खाते हुए. While drinking water.
पानी पीते हुए.
Very good. पानी पीते हुए. Okay. While giving the exam. Okay. परीक्षा देते हुए. Anybody else?
This one I was confused with, Ashu Ji, because when you say given the exam, they usually say lena. So, and then when you are taking the exam, you say you use dena.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Aisha. Okay. Exam dete hue. Okay, so I'll fix it. I'll say while appearing for exam. So I mean, this is sort of like an English Hindi issue, but in general, in Hindi you'll say exam parisha dete hue. I think you're saying like, while as a student, while giving the exam or while appearing for the exam. So it's written from the student's perspective.
Yes.
And how else would you have said?
I would have said if you're given the exam, the teacher would be actually taking the exam, so it would have been pariksha lete hue.
So this I wrote it from a student's perspective, like while giving the exam.
Okay,
students were
So it would still be dete hue.
So if I am conducting the exam, pariksha lete hue. If I'm appearing for it, pariksha dete hue. That's what I was thinking. Pariksha dete hue.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the opposite.
Yeah.
I was thinking this was from the professor giving the exam.
Yeah.
And the student takes the exam.
Yeah. The next one is while watching the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl dekhte hue.
Super Bowl dekhte hue. Okay.
Could I ask a question about the while drinking water?
Yeah, go for it.